The course of the Boston Marathon weaves through several cities and towns that observe Indigenous Peoples Day, and this year the race, postponed due to the pandemic, is being held on that day. After receiving criticism for selecting that date, the Boston Athletic Association issued an apology and announced a number of ways it plans to honor the marathon's Indigenous history, including acknowledging that much of the race course is on Indigenous ancestral homelands. Well, this will be the race's 125th year, more than 900 days after the last in-person Boston Marathon took place. The runners face a daunting 26.2-mile road that stretches through 8 municipalities, and 2 of them join us today. Jen Kanyugi and Antar Johnson, both members of the National Black Marathoners Association. Welcome to you both, and thank you for being here. Welcome to Boston.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Jen, this is actually your 17th Boston Marathon. Tell us how you got started in the first place and how you stuck with it for nearly 2 decades.
Thank you. It's actually a funny story. I worked at John Hancock and they were looking for an employee team. You know, they're a big sponsor of the marathon. And I had never run more than 20 minutes on a treadmill. Once I went to that meeting and I saw 90% of the room was running for the first time, and they had a coach. So that's how I signed up, and I just never stopped.
So Jen, what does running do for you, both physically and mentally?
It is literally my therapy. It is something that I feel if I don't go out for a run, I just don't feel the same. It clears my head. I'm able to problem solve, and it just makes my day.
Antar, how about you? How did you get into running, and what have been some of the benefits that you've gotten out of this sport?
I got into running basically after doing a lot of like CrossFit, and eventually that developed into the sort of like obstacle course races. And eventually I just noticed that what I really like to do is run as opposed to doing all these other things. And so I never really thought I would become a marathoner. The most I would run would be like a 5K. But eventually I made a promise to a mentor of mine that I was going to run a marathon. And unfortunately he passed. But I kept that promise. And so since 2018, I've been running marathons, and this Boston Marathon will be my 9th marathon. I was going to say, meanwhile, while I started to run marathons, some of my more seasoned running friends told me about the 6 world marathons, which are Boston, Chicago, New York, London, Tokyo, and Berlin. And they told me about this goal of running the 6 world marathons and how there's very few people that have done it, like less than 7,000 in the world. And how most of the time, in order to run these marathons, you have to be associated with charities. And so I thought that that would be a great way for me to become a better runner and also do good for the greater good. And so I've been associated with all the, so far I've run 4 different, Boston will be the 4th, world marathons, and each one has been associated with a charity. And to date, I've raised more than $20,000.
That's great. That's great.
So,
I am sure you're going to reach your goal as you run all around the world. Antar, I want to ask you about this. In February 2020, Ahmaud Arbery, a black man jogging near his home in a Georgia suburb, was shot and killed by 2 white men, giving rise to the phrase running while black. So tell us what you feel about doing something you love while still being concerned that others might react to seeing you, a black man, running in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I was going to say Ahmaud Arbery's death hit the running community and me in particular. It is a fear of mine. Basically, wherever I travel to, I think there's no better way to see those places than to run. And so I've run literally like all over the world. And And in particular, I live in a Washington, D.C. suburb where a lot of people don't look like me that run recreationally. And so it is something that my wife and my daughter have a voiced concern about. And so I have always thought about that. But that moment when he was taken from us and chased down and murdered, it crystallized some of my thoughts that while I'm running that I would think about. And actually our running community, like the National Black Marathon Association, we were able to vocalize some of our fears that we probably didn't actually say. We would think of them while we're running, but we didn't have the group to actually say it. And so we saw that a lot of us was feeling that way. And so we actually did it was basically the larger Black running community. We participated with other like-minded individuals and did a memorial sort of for Mr. Aubrey, and that we all ran 2.23 miles. And at the end of it, we said like a sign of solidarity or memorial.
Let me ask Jen, you said Arbery's murder had a profound effect on you too and made you start running indoors until you found the support that you needed. Tell us about that, Jen.
Yeah, it's so funny. I think he said it best. It's just something I never thought about before. I don't know why, but maybe because I ran really early in the morning. I'd run before work, and I really run alone a lot and just never noticed it before. And as it was mentioned, like the whole running community, it just kind of, I don't know if it was a phobia that just came over me, and I just developed this fear of going out to run on my own. And it's something I had done daily on my own. So I did a lot of my training last year, the pandemic virtual marathon, on a treadmill, which people will tell you is not ideal.
But you're okay now?
Yes. Oh, like he said, you find groups of people. There's Black Girls Run here in Boston, and we can run around Franklin Park. I have lots of friends here too, but it's just something that you're more aware of now. Okay,
Jen and Antar, we hope you keep that joy that you find in running, and congratulations to you both for your participation in the Boston Marathon. We'll be keeping our eye out for you.
Thank you so much.
All right, be well. And thanks to all of you for watching. We want to make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at CityLine5. And you can follow me on Twitter at Karen Holmes Ward. Have a good afternoon.